Father, speaking of menstrual cycles and women on their cycles, what is your take on that? What do you have to say about women on their cycle when it comes to this religion?
Yes, let's talk about that. Now, I'm going to give you my rule of thought. I'm going to give you my opinion. You always want to follow your elders with this, but I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to give you some logic behind it. And I'm also going to tell you from a lot of elders. Again, I come from a house of old school elders, people who also come from a lot of very famous old school elders. And these are questions that I pose to my godfather, and I get the same answers from a lot of people. Now, I'm going to tell you when you shouldn't, or when the cycle affects. We already talked about ilikes. There are two energies that a woman on her cycle cannot be in the presence of. Odu or Lofi, Odu, something that the Babalao has during the consecrations of the Atifa, Babalao initiation, which is why a woman is not in the womb, because the woman has the womb already, which is Odu, which is the womb. It's not a knock to woman, it's like you have that power, you have that beauty. Those two energies do not collide. Cannot be in front of Odu, the womb of creation, the Babalaos, who have that during that initiation. Hence why they can't be in the room and can become Babalaos. Even when a woman initiation, they will do Iyanifa, they still remove Odu. Igbawa Odu, they'll still remove it. But in the tradition of Lukumini Fada's core, through Odu, what makes a Babalawo is the presence of Odu. We are born from Odu, not from Oromina. Okay, that. And an Orisha called Osayin. An Orisha called Osayin, a woman should not be in front of this Orisha when she's on her cycle. Usually Osayin is done and is placed outside in a different area, a shed or somewhere else to the side, usually with other articles of other ATR religions as a prenda, things of palo, other echuachwe, aquelu, other entities, oron, things like that. But a woman can be in front of Osayin and a prenda when they're not on their cycle. But in front of a prenda, which is something from Palo, maybe some other things in Palo, in the Palo tradition when a woman's on her cycle. But I know for a fact, in front of prendas and Osayin, a woman cannot be on her cycle. Other than that, a woman is totally okay to get readings. I've been told, some people have been told they can't get a readings while they're on their cycle. They can't get a head cleansing while they're on their cycle. They can't get initiated or receive the ilikes when they're on their cycle. My godfather would explain, listen, some say you can't be in front of your elegua while you're in your cycle. You can't attend to him. These are all misconceptions, in my opinion, and from my elders who have told me some of the biggest, heaviest Olorishas and some of the biggest and heaviest Babalaos. Very famous, very old school, some of the original elders in Cuba and in the diaspora has said that is false, and that is an extreme, and that is misinformation, and that is incorrect. For instance, if a woman is on her cycle and they're scheduled to get her crowning process, they don't stop the crowning. There has never been a ceremony Ocha crowned ever if a woman starts her cycle. Do they try to accommodate it? Maybe to the best. That's not even anything that's ever brought up, ever. When can you be available? When is the house available? And you plan it 6 months in advance. a year in advance, 3 months. When is available? When is Italero available? When is the Oriate? When can we go over? When do we need to fly? Who's going to come over? When can we do it? When are you off of work? When do you have the funds? And you get together and you plan it. And if you start your cycle, they're not going to stop it. There is things in motion that you can't stop. If you wait 2 or 3 days, that makes everything the difference. So there's no stopping of a ceremony, and it's done and it's going through. Why would you ever now not be able to be in front of your warriors or attend to your hand of Ifa and or pray to your ancestor altar or get any kind of remedies and or get a reading with just Ifa? Anybody who tells you that has been misinformed along the way, in my opinion. In my house, that's not an issue. It's never been an issue. And not only has it never been an issue, it's never been an issue from the Orisha. That's never come up. She was on her cycle. That's why Eleg was upset. And this went wrong. She came Okana with the coconuts when they get the rogacion because she's on her cycle. And never in the history has that come up. So again, evidence is a loudest voice to support what is okay and what is not. So I did want to talk a little bit about that cycle, some of the misconceptions and some of my beliefs and opinions on the matter.
Gotcha.